Let's go! You know, 3 idiots on a podcast. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Runs sucks.
We don't know if any of that's true, but oh, Jordan, don't give me this technically crap. Come on.
Got personal this week.
Lots of stuff happened. Just
Chad Berger, Brian Dawson with USD.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You guys do it in a really professional manner, and it's awesome.
Good evening, Coyote fans. Welcome in Season 2, Episode 24 of the Howling Podcast, where we're mic'd up, nerded out, ready for chaos. My name is Jordan Decker. Tonight, once again, joined by co-hosts Chad Berger and Mark Wendt. They're ready to go. We'll be joined in a minute by multi-time friend of the show, head women's basketball coach at USD, Carrie Eighmey. Very busy week in USD athletics, so we'll recap that and then look ahead to the upcoming week in USD athletics. Pretty much everyone's away from Vermilion this week. It's going to be pretty quiet down in Vermtown. So we'll end the episode as always. We'll give our Maloney Real Estate Eyecharts of the week and close out with the DQ Player of the Week. Quick disclaimer, the opinions on this show are Mark, Chad's, and myself. They do not represent USD or the USD Athletic Department. Social media, you can find us on X at HowlWithUs3. You can find myself, Jordan Decker, at JD6Ope5, Mark at WDiamond605, and Chad at Chad Berger, BIRGER at Chad Berger. For those on Facebook, welcome. If you don't follow us on Facebook, just search The Howling Podcast. 3 words, The Howling Podcast. Please like and follow. YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't already. Welcome to those joining live on YouTube. It's at The Howling Podcast. And finally, Instagram, _Howling_Podcast. For those on X, Facebook, and YouTube, tonight we have Coach Eighmey on, or really throughout the show. If you've got questions for Coach, questions for us, comments, feel free to leave them. And Mark, Chad, they'll make sure we get those up throughout the episode.
well, we
as
don't
always,
anything, do we, guys? We are.
As always, tonight's show is brought to you by our friends at 19 Brewing Company in Vermilion. So before we get going, a quick word from Katie at 19 Brewing Company.
Looking for a place where good beer meets better company? Welcome to 19 Brewing Company, Vermilion's first craft brewery and home to Coyote Legacy Blonde Ale. Brought to you by 2 USD alumni, Coyote Legacy isn't just any beer. It's a chance to give back to student scholarships while enjoying a refreshing blonde ale. With 12 rotating taps, a flavor at your self-seltzer, and homemade root beer, we have something for every Coyote fan. 19 Brewing Company. Good beer, better company.
I had me some Coyote Legacies at the basketball games on Saturday. Really enjoyed that. But yeah, let's welcome in Chad and Mark. Gentlemen, great to see you. How are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
How are we doing?
Episode 24. How did we get here already?
Well, Jordan,
We've gone by fast.
we do one episode every week, and this is the 24th week we've been doing it this season.
We're getting closer to episode 67. Just saying. It's going to be a special one.
A special one. Well, yeah, what a week for the Yotes too, huh? I mean, goodness gracious, that was amazing. Yeah, lots of good stuff happened this week. Right, Mark?
Correct. Let's go over it.
Let's go over it.
Women's basketball won a couple games. Hosted St. Thomas in a 67-55 win. And you might have heard, defeated a team up north, 73-54. We'll talk about that real shortly here. Men's basketball, another split week for them. Defeated Oral Roberts 77-69 in the Sanford Sports Center. And then last night, hard fought, down early, ended up going to overtime, dropped to the first place, North Dakota State 89-84. Tennis defeated Bradley 4-3, and then this afternoon dropped one to Missouri State. So tennis will not finish the year undefeated.
Dang it.
Swim and dive had the Coyote Classic or Coyote Invitational, 18 event wins, 12 new pool records. I don't know if that means the new pool or home. we're swim and dive experts. We'll get that figured out here towards the end of the show. And track and field, Chad, I don't know if you have the
stuff happen.
There you go.
Lots of stuff happened.
We'll go over that later as well.
Oh yeah, sorry, I missed my cue on that, Mark. I apologize.
Off to a great start. Here we go.
Well, you know,
A lot of show left. We'll rally. So this week,
yes, we're welcoming in multi-time friend of the show, USD women's basketball coach Carrie Eighmey. Welcome, Coach.
Hey guys, what's going on?
To the audience. There it is. There it is. Coach, how was the locker room water celebration shower after the game on Saturday?
Those are always fun, right? A little chilly, a little wet, but always a good time. Yes.
So for those of you that are not aware of what happened here, I'll pull it up. I think we had it on the social channels. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen. There we go. We'll go full screen with that. Yeah, and that just doesn't get old. I mean, phenomenal. So yeah, awesome.
I always look great after that douse. You know, you got soaked hair.
You gotta go to
Wet,
media.
It's cold. You gotta go.
And you have to go walk up. Did you have to go walk up to Jerry
I did.
after that too? Oh man.
Feet were all wet. It's great. Love it. Every second of it. So
that's all right. So obviously a big victory on Saturday, but you've kind of positioned the team this year. We talked to you earlier in the season, but off to a great start in Summit League play. You're right now currently sitting in the number 2 spot in the Summit League. You know, overall, you've had some ups and downs. You've had a few injuries here and there, but kind of give us your state of the Coyote women basketball team so far this season.
Well, I mean, like you just said, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, just in the sense of feels like we were kind of trading people out. One person would be out for a couple of weeks, and then that person would get back and be healthy, and then somebody else would, you know, have something happen. And so we haven't really had a full squad, and obviously losing Alex Flattery a few weeks ago, you know, changed us. She had worked her way into a starting position and was playing, you know, 30 something minutes in a couple of those games, and was playing really, really well. And, you know, so losing her, we kind of had to not start over, but kind of redefine some things. And a couple of our guards had to take on a couple of the roles that she was really stepping up and fulfilling for our team. I mean, you guys know she played with an incredible motor, really good defender, kind of took on that role of like, hey, whoever you need me to slow down that night, I'll do my job. It's kind of one of those kids that does all the things nobody gets a lot of credit for. So, you know, losing her, we kind of figured out, okay, how do we play without her, and how do we, you know, move some people around, and you know, I think we've played some really good games, but I think we've had our losses in league, I think were both really important in just helping our team understand like how good you have to be game in and game out to be able to climb the ladder up to the top part of the league. You know, we dropped that home game against ORU, and you know, I think that was a bit of an eye opener for our team. You know, I don't think we weren't ready to play the game. I think we just, you know, realized that, okay, this is no joke. Like, you got to show up as a pretty good version of yourself as a team. And then, you know, NDSU, that was also, you know, didn't feel good in the moment, but I think it was helpful for our team to understand just how physical, long the top of the league really is.
Coach, you've talked about it in any interview you've done here, but since the season started, really, and everyone talks about 13 new players and how they've all come together. I wasn't able to make it yesterday, so it's the first time I kind of watched a home game. in a long time on TV. But I do notice, like, not only are the 6, 7, 8 players that are getting playing time obviously together, but that entire bench, 1 through 15, even the people that are in braces and hobbled on one leg, like they were up and into it. Like they are just really, it was really fun to watch the bench yesterday.
Yeah, I mean and that says a lot about the individuals on the team. They're good people, they're good teammates, and I think we try to be strategic in that in recruiting, but also sometimes you just get lucky, and we got lucky in regards to having a group of women who want to be a part of something bigger than themselves and who are willing to say, hey, whatever role we need to play to help this team win. Let's embrace it and let's have a good time doing what we're doing. And, I think sometimes when you're in it, especially, mid-season like we are right now, kind of through that January grind, for me as a coach, sometimes I don't slow down and take in some of those moments. And for whatever reason, yesterday I was really able to do that at times and soak it up a little bit. But yesterday was amazing for a lot of reasons, but for me as a coach, it was mostly, obviously our fans loved it and it's really, really meaningful, because of the rivalry. But for me, it was really cool to watch what you just talked about, like our team and the way they celebrated each other. And just, like so many of those players have never been in an environment.
Frozen.
It's not me.
Oh no, it's not you, Jordan. We'll see.
And for them,
there we go. We'll see if we can get Coach back here. Hold on one sec. Efforting.
Effort. A for efforting. Here we go.
See what we can do.
2 weeks in a row.
Well, Mark, you asked such a good question that you froze it up.
Broke the internet.
Yeah.
People are turning off the Grammys and breaking our stream.
Yep.
She's right, though. It does remind me of the Sweet 16 team, or even a couple years prior to that, with Claudia Kunzer, and just how, Claudia Kunzer made Sports Illustrated, for crying out, for some of their antics over there on the bench. So that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Did you guys see James from Yankton Press and in that picture he got of Angie and Coach Carrie there at the end? Where
all right, Jordan, she's back. Let's try Coach here. There's Coach.
Sorry, was that me? I don't know what happened there.
Well, the three of us, I don't know. Yeah, no,
it's not you, it's us.
you were talking about how awesome it was.
Yeah, just like those, especially those seniors, they've never had an experience like that in an environment like that, and they had one chance, to play state at home this year, in front of a crowd like that, and they were able to seize the opportunity and capitalize on that and play so well, and I'm just super happy for them, like that they're going to be able to remember that for a very, very long time. And for me, that was where most of my joy was coming from yesterday, was just watching them enjoy that experience.
And Coach, you're right. The players, they were so dialed in. And I mentioned this before we went on, but the team up north, they had players that looked lost. They looked discombobulated by your defense. They looked just completely lost out there. Brooklyn Meyer is a hell of a basketball player, and she kind of did what she does. But I want to give credit to not only Patience, who's going through some, injuries, but Josie and Elise. Like, I thought that defense on her was able to create and make them very uncomfortable. Can you, and you touched a little bit on this in like the pregame talk with Jerry, but can you kind of let the folks know what was kind of the game plan going in against SDSU? Was it to kind of let Brooklyn just do her thing and control everything else?
Yeah. Well, so many of the stat sheets that you look at with them, after the game, it's like, Brooklyn has 20 plus, but then, 3 or 4 other kids are in the mid to high double figures. And you're just like, okay, well, they're hitting you everywhere, and I think so many teams spend a lot of time trying to eliminate Brooklyn. And she's so good that she can get enough catches to make everybody around her better. For example, ORU played them a few weeks ago and gave up 19 threes. SDSU made 19 threes. And so I just think they're too lethal from the 3-point line to give them like wide open looks, especially if you're not calculated in who you're giving those looks to. And so, yeah, I mean, we told our forwards, hey, you're going to have to make it as difficult as you possibly can on her, but don't panic if she scores 20 plus points. It's just, she's going to. What we can't have happen is 4 people in double digits in the mid double digits. And now we're saying, okay, everybody's beating us. So yeah, that was definitely the strategy. And, they got a lot of threes, and some of those threes we were okay with letting them take.
Coach, obviously played really well defensively, holding them to 54 total points, but offensively, I mean, goodness gracious, have you been holding back on 3-pointers this season or what? I mean, we saw a shooting exhibition happening out there the other day.
Well, if we're holding back, I'm going to be upset about that because I've been hoping that was going to happen soon. But a couple of things. Like, we knew we were going to have to hit some shots. They're so long and so big, obviously, in the paint. We weren't going to be able to expect to be able to score, 40 points in the paint. Just not probably realistic in a game like that. And so we tried to get our players to understand, like, hey, here's where you're probably going to get some looks, catch, ready to shoot. And if you're in rhythm and you like it, take it, And obviously Angie got some really good looks early. And that's the other thing, the credit to each other. I mean, I thought they did a really good job of finding SDSU really brings lots of help to drives. And, I thought our team did a really good job of finding those open players when they brought the help. And, and then in the second half, obviously, we had lots of more opportunities because they went zone and stayed in it for pretty much the remainder of the game after the first few minutes of the third quarter. So, I mean, Angie, she liked her looks. And, I felt like we missed a couple of that, that were pretty good looks as well. So Elise was unbelievable yesterday. Those kids, they're the 4 seniors in particular, they're gamers. They're competitive as heck, and they don't have a lot of time left. And so they're playing with a different kind of urgency.
Fun to watch. I have kind of a weird one for you, Coach. An assistant coach told me several years ago, analytics wise, there's 2 shots to take in basketball, a 3-pointer and a layup. Our offense, Molly Joyce, Angie, even our post players, do the mid-range jumper. Is that just a case of we have good shooters and we're going to use it, or did this coach lie to me?
You know what? The best scorers I've ever had that I've coached in my career and played with even have a mid-range game. Because if you think about it, if you have a 3 or you get to the rim, right? Like, if I'm a 3-point shooter and you run me off the line, right? Now they've got help waiting for you at the rim. If I'm a driver, right, they're just going to play off of me and dare me to shoot. When you got the mid-range game, you've got now the ability to kind of score it at all 3 levels. And I would say Angie and Molly both have that. And then you have our forwards all are also capable of, I wouldn't say they have the pull up quite like those guys, but they definitely have a jump, a mid-range jump shot, can hit a 3 and can also score it a little bit around the rim. And so I think, to me, sometimes the mid-range shot is the best shot you're going to get because defenses are built, right, to force mid-range shots.
Coach, can I go back to when State, I think it was 8 minutes to go in the third, they switched to a zone out of that timeout. And it took a few minutes to get a bucket. And talking like, we're talking about those mid-range Jays, things like that. You guys statistically didn't really skip a beat scoring-wise, percentage-wise, minus the fourth quarter, the shooting. But overall, you guys didn't really skip a beat. I'm not familiar with SDSU's defense. Is that something you saw on film that they can switch into? Were you guys prepared for that?
Yeah, we knew it was coming. In fact, at halftime, we said it's very, very likely that they're going to go zone at some point, especially if we come out and score right away. In fact, we thought they might come out they've done that. They've shown that on film where I think NDSU, they came out in the second half in zone, if I remember right. But, sometimes they'll do it end of quarter. Sometimes they'll do it out of a timeout. Sometimes they just do it when they're struggling. And so many teams lose their rhythm. And it gives State just enough possessions to kind of get things going on the offensive end and get back into games where they might be struggling or stretch a lead, maybe with a team that's hanging around. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't waste those possessions. It took us a few possessions to really get kind of an alignment that we liked. They do a pretty good job of communicating in it and matching up. And so we had to, I think the first few possessions we got shots and decent shots, but I think as we played in it a little bit longer, I felt like as time went on, we got better stuff. Also too, though, like the two turnarounds by Josie, that's her shot. She's really good at that, but that's a tough shot to defend. And then Molly's drive going left when she did that fadeaway that hit the rim and bounced up and came back in. I was like,
was that the one she shot over Brooklyn that was super high in the air?
No. That one was amazing too. She had 3 shots in the game that I was like, oh my gosh, like those are incredible. The one I'm talking about is it was on the left side of the floor. She's driving left and threw it. I mean, was fading away almost out of bounds over like 2 defenders. And then the cross where she crossed that kid up. But yeah, that picture right there. Yep. She's
going to get that framed.
Absolutely. I am.
Yeah. I mean, from an output standpoint, obviously she was really good. But she didn't necessarily score as many points as we've seen her score, but the way she was scoring was, incredible.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch. Coach, you got a big, you're halfway through the Summit League season, right? It feels like you just had the biggest win. How do you avoid a letdown now coming up this week?
Well, I mean, I think, obviously it's a different win, right? But we beat K-State earlier in the year, right? And we kind of had to have that conversation after that. Like the goal of the season is not to beat K-State, right? The goal is for this team to become the best version of itself. The other goal is let's finish as high as we possibly can in the conference and try to make the tournament, try to make the big dance by winning the conference tournament. So I think our team, obviously it's maybe a conversation, but they know, they know that it doesn't matter what you did this week because next week we got to go on the road to Denver and ORU. And, we've positioned ourselves, our team back into a spot where, we're in second place and that's great. But that can change very quickly if you don't stay locked. I clearly the emotional part of it, you got to find a way to kind of get back to it. And I think that kind of starts with us of just like, okay, hey, it's Monday and we're prepping for Denver just like we would any other week.
Weird stuff has happened in Denver in the past too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coach, I want to ask you one more about the immediate post game yesterday. There's a great video out there of your team stopping and not only giving a high five, but giving some hugs to one of the, well, he's not one of, he is the best Coyote fan in the world, PJ Maloney. Can you talk a little bit about what he means to your team and how that connection was formed, where they decided that he needed hugs?
Yeah. I mean, PJ, he's been around our program quite a bit. Even all the way back to the summer, our team was able to meet him. He came to, I think, one of our workouts, and the thing about him is he obviously loves his Yotes, but he's such a genuine person, and he truly cares about our athletes as people, and our team knows it and they feel it, and they see him around all the time. If they're at a men's game and they see PJ, they go give him a hug. And I think what's awesome about the relationship that our program has with PJ is it's as meaningful to our student athletes as it is to him. And, he always says, all these athletes keep me young and keep me going and all those sorts of things. Well, people like him, really, it matters to our athletes to have someone like him be so, so invested and care so much about not only their success on the basketball court, but like who they are as people, and they know it. So that was a cool moment. I'm glad people got it on video. Michelle sent it to me today, and super special. He's amazing.
PJ is A+. If you don't know him, you should introduce yourself to him because you won't regret it. He's
quickly,
amazing.
did you guys hear that he didn't offend? He tried to offend me. I mean, I'm joking, but it was a while ago, maybe this summer. He was like, Carrie, I know you guys are going to be good, and I know eventually you're going to beat State. I just hope I'm still alive when that happens, So yesterday after the game, I went over to him and I was like, PJ, you're still alive. It was great.
That's awesome.
We're getting a lot of comments from people out there on Facebook and YouTube. PJ is the best, all kinds of stuff. Dr. O just rewatched tonight. Such a complete game. Student athletes just keep getting better and better. And then Jordan, the other Jordan, commented here and said the mid-range is a lost art. Molly's mid-range is a chef's kiss. So
agree. I totally agree with that.
Yep. So lots of good fan comments. Mark, I think you had one more thing you wanted to say here.
No, I was just gonna give PJ my flowers as well. He's a awesome dude. So.
Awesome.
Well, Coach, really appreciate you coming on. I know on behalf of us, not only was that win good for you guys as a team, it was so sweet for the naysayers and doubters out there, both within Coyote Nation, without Coyote Nation. We've known it. We knew it was coming. We're very proud of you and the staff and the student athletes for getting it done. Yote fans, women's basketball, the rest of their schedule, 2 road games this week. I know we'll go over this soon, but they're at Denver, at ORU. Pretty tough games. I know emotions will be high at that Denver game. And ORU's, trying to get back from an earlier loss to them. And they got 3 home games, Kansas City, Omaha, North Dakota State. And then they finish up the season at UND and at SDSU. And then it's March Madness. So, Coach, well done. I know you had another win in there. We talked a lot about SDSU game. You had another great win against St. Thomas in the week as well. But appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck moving forward this season.
Absolutely, guys. As always, you're awesome. This is great. You guys do a really great job, and we appreciate. I always love seeing you guys in the stands. Also, too, just a reminder to all the Yote fans out there, our team, when that place is rocking, our team is really good. So show up, be loud, go Yotes.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Hopefully we talk to you again after you're cutting those nets down in March. How about that?
Sounds great. Take care, guys.
Right. Thanks,
See
Coach.
ya.
Bye.
Yes. All right.
You're not on the Yotes train. All aboard.
Let's go.
Let's go. Flip it.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm all pumped up.
Yep.
So let's go ahead, Mark. News and notes.
News and notes. Preseason polls for golf was announced. Both of them wrong. Men were picked 7th and women 3rd. We have them higher. Swim and dive. When we had Coach on, he told us these names were going to be good, and he was right. Nick Rounds, Gabby, and Charlie Matthews named Summit League Peak Performers of the Week. Friend of the show, Angie Robles, for her performance yesterday afternoon, was named Summit Standout. And to what the men did this past week as well, but long story short, if you failed to get your Summit League tickets when they were available, there's still some out there, and you should plan to get up there because we're going to make some noise up there. Have we been mentioning that prior to the men's basketball game on February 11th, I don't know who they play off the top of my head, but they're going to be selling some football gear, helmets, jerseys, warm-ups, that kind of stuff. You got to have a ticket to that basketball game to get in on that sale. So do that. And as Jordan mentioned, 6 basketball home games left. And as Coach Carrie said, we play better when there's butts in the seats. So let's get out and support. Go ahead, Jordan.
That's the UND game. And before folks go, okay, USD's or UND's pretty damn good. I believe they're second in the Summit. So big game. I think it's a Wednesday. I know that can be tough, but if you can get to it, just don't show up super early so that Mark and I can get some USD gear before the game, and you buy.
And to the people that are DMing me, ask me to, buy stuff for them. I don't know if you are aware of I am not made of money. You're going to have to prepay if you want some stuff. So, and last but not least, April 17th, calling all Yotes, always a great time. Tickets are available, tables available, and I think I saw individual seats are now available as well. So go find those.
Yeah. Guys, we have a lot of people out here interacting with the program. This is great. Dr. O went to the swim and dive meet. Very fun to watch. It's like the Olympics live. Lots of good stuff happening here. So, yeah, awesome. Well, let's dive into some of those games. We talked with Coach about this a little bit, but women's basketball hosted St. Thomas on Wednesday night in front of 1,300 fans at the SCSC and came out with that 67-55 victory in this one. If you look at the quarter by quarter results here, that second quarter was where it happened. Holding St. Thomas to 6 points, putting up 22, really widening that margin at halftime and kind of putting St. Thomas away. St. Thomas did make a run there in the fourth quarter, but just such a big lead for the Yotes in that one. As far as, the team statistics here, you can see the Yotes shot really well in the first half, 53% from the field in the first quarter, and then 61% in the second quarter. Additionally, 67% from 3-point and 75% from 3-point in the second quarter. Well, if you look at the defensive side of things, St. Thomas only shot 42% in the first quarter and 14% in the second quarter. So that's going to win you a lot of games right there if you can shoot that much better than your opponent in each of those quarters.
Yeah, the fourth quarter for the Yotes made that game appear way more closer than it was. The Yotes were in control from second quarter on. Yeah. Never really a question. So,
and then sorry, I was going to say one of the things I'll highlight here. Look at the points in the paint, guys.
Yeah,
38. I mean, that's pretty big. That's almost a 2-to-1 margin there.
Yep.
I have a ton of respect for St. Thomas, but this is selfishly one of my favorite matchups in the Summit League. Like we match up very, very well against them.
Yeah. Well, how about individually then? Angie Robles had 20 points and Elise Turbiatis had 14. Josie Hill finished with 11 and Jenna Hopp had 10 for the Yotes. But then if you look over to that rebounding column, guys, it's about 2/3 of the way across the screen. Let's go ahead and look at the rebound. Oh my goodness. 15 rebounds for Elise. Look at that. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Coach has mentioned this a couple of times, but some of the time, she just flies in out of nowhere and snap. She goes after the ball. She doesn't wait for the ball to get to her. It's pretty impressive to watch her.
Wow. Yeah. And then 10 for Josie Hill too. So great job by the Yotes. 46 total rebounds for the Yotes in this one. Just fantastic rebounding effort. And then Mark, you highlighted the 16 down here for turnovers. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I don't know, maybe I'm starting to think like a coach. You're always looking for something to get on the team about, and that probably be the thing that was circled after this game. And the other thing we should mention here is Patience Williams did not play this game. She was out with her neg. I think they called it a lower back spasms or something like that. So that she picked up at North Dakota State, but did not play. And luckily for the Yotes, we picked her up and dominated, really.
Yeah. So then on Saturday, the Jackrabbits came to town and total domination. In this one, Yotes finished with a 73-54 victory in front of over 3,000 fans at the SCSC. Jordan, you were there. What was the crowd like?
Engaged, and great. Like it happens a couple games every season. I wish it happened more, but that place, with the attendance there, it's half full, and it was loud at points when we were going on the runs. And just like any state U game, there's a good contingent of visiting fans, and I thought the Yotes did a great job of stopping those runs and keeping, the couple hundred that were there for SDSU, they kept them at bay. But it was a great atmosphere, and I've got a picture of the game we'll talk about later, but just phenomenal atmosphere.
The thing that stood out to me about this game is obviously we've sat through a lot of state U games on the women's side, and it seems like state traditionally will go on a 8-0, 10-0, 12-0 type of run. That kind of makes things difficult, and they get a little separation, and we're fighting back. Like that just did not happen at all. The largest lead state had all game was 3 points. So completely eliminated any runs by South Dakota State. And we played the clip 1,000 times, defense and rebounding. Well, that certainly stood out in this matchup as well.
Yeah.
And they had, oh, sorry, Chad.
The other thing, Jordan, was like the Yotes did such a good job of, building a lead there before halftime, but then just keeping ahead of the Jackrabbits the entire second half and taking them out of their game a little bit and not allowing them to get on that big run and, get the lead. And I think that was such a huge part of the game.
Well, and I brought it up with Coach too. When they switched to a zone, that makes sense of what she said. That can cause, they struggled with Omaha for just a little bit. And I'm curious if they switched or what they did, because they beat them by like 45. If it wasn't for Josie Hill hitting those 2 mid-range shots after they switched to zone, I mean, that there, because I think State went on a 6 or 7-0 run, and I'm going, okay, here comes they're closing the gap. Here comes the back and forth for the rest of the game. But Josie had those shots, and Angie from 3-ball corner pocket. I mean, it was answer after answer. And it was great to see. And we forced them, sorry, but this is just my overall thoughts. We forced them to take uncomfortable shots, I thought. And I'm not kidding. They looked lost. They looked like I'm not saying they weren't prepared, because they've got a terrific coach on the other side, but some of those young players, it looked like they just didn't know what to do. And I think that's a kudos to the intensity that the Yotes brought the whole game.
Was career loss number 201 for Aaron Johnston in this one. So big win for the Yotes, and excellent turnout there. You can see some of the team statistics listed here. Overall, we mentioned the 3-point shooting earlier. Yotes shot 44% from 3-point land. South Dakota State only shot 17% in this one. That fourth quarter, the Bunnies couldn't buy a shot in this one. I mean, 18%, below 20% shooting, and just were not able to make up that gap that they were trailing the Yotes.
And it was not good. If you were wanting points in the fourth quarter, you weren't getting them from the field. It was not a good shooting on both sides. Thank God for the physicality and getting to the free throw line on our end.
Mark, you highlighted a few other things on here.
Well, highlighted second champ points for South Dakota State. Obviously, they have one of the premier 5 post players, not only in the Summit League, but in the country, in Booker Meyer. Only 9 second chance points. So I mentioned it before, but, Coach Eighmey stresses it, defense and rebounding. And she said it post game, not only make them take a tough shot, but you got to finish the possession with a rebound. And more times than not, that's exactly what we did. So that really stood out to me. And they didn't get out to run. Only 5 fast break points for South Dakota State. So, it was a fun game to watch. That's for dang sure.
And one last thing too, if you're watching points off turnovers, USD 27. Oh yeah, there we go, Darren. Excellent timing. 27-9. I say this a lot during games, as do a lot of people. When you turn it over, like, use it, right? Like, let's get a bucket here, use it. And we did, to a 3-1 advantage there. Again, it was part of stopping their runs, having an answer when we'd have a lead, not settling, pedal to the metal. And it was just a well-rounded game on both sides of the ball on Saturday.
Some individual statistics. Angie Robles had 25 points on 7 for 10 from the floor, including 6 for 7 from 3-point land. Yeah, that's pretty decent.
That's pretty good.
Elise Turbiades, we already mentioned her earlier. She's having quite a week here, but 19 points, 12 rebounds, 3 for 5 from 3-point land in this one. And then Molly Joyce breaking ankles, throwing floaters up to almost the rafters. I mean, getting it done with 15 points in this one. And then the assist to turnover margin, 14 assists to only 10 turnovers for the Yotes as well. So lots of good stuff happened.
Yeah, I thought Elise played amazing. Foul trouble to Patience and Josie. So she ended up guarding Brooklyn. And, obviously Brooklyn got hers, but I thought she did a really great job and made Brooklyn defend her, all the way up to the 3-point line. So I thought those are 3 really big 3-pointers she hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we already put this up there. This is on dakotanewsnow.com, but this is the one where Molly just crossed over the defender, and the defender ended up look at the faces on the background on the bench.
I love it. Yeah. It was one of those where she broke the ankles of that poor kid, and you're just hoping she makes the shot. And she certainly did right before the shot clock went off. It was,
as all lefties do after amazing.
Oh, yeah. Just
like
money.
Us lefties, just cash. My face is similar, but of course you can't see because the ref's shoulder is blocking my face. If you're familiar with me being Mike Wazowski'd on pretty much every picture where I'm close to being in the background. But Mark, are you going to get it framed? You're going to get that picture framed?
If I can find like a still, I think that's taken from the video. It's a still, so it's not the greatest. If someone's got to have a
little 5x7, it'd be fine. Resolution that small.
No, I got to get it. No, that's an epic moment. I love it.
Well, during the week, Angelina Robles had 1,000 career points, not all this week, over the course of her career. But congratulations to friend of the show, Angelina Robles, for getting 1,000 career points.
I don't know if you guys saw the post game, but someone asked her about reaching 1,000 points, and she just she said, I've been around a minute, so it doesn't surprise me. So
yeah, I did hear that.
Oh, well, overall now, we mentioned Summit League standings, but North Dakota State's still undefeated. They're at the top of the conference at 9-0, but the Yotes are in second place at 7-2, big win over South Dakota State. So that gives the Yotes that head-to-head advantage right there. And you can also see, some of the other teams underneath here that are coming up on the schedule. You see Oral Roberts on there, Denver's down there. And so, not necessarily, pushover games, but they're games that the Yotes have to really stand up over the next week.
Mark your calendars right now for February 21st. It is against NDSU, and it is a home game with a week to go in the regular season. Mark it now. February 21st, at home against NDSU. I'm assuming it's a 1:00 game, but that'll be the second, third to last game. So as a fan, that's the toughest remaining game besides up in Brookings. But as far as home games go, let's make sure we get, as Coach said, we can pack that place. Let's get 2,000-3,000 folks there and make it tough. NDSU is really, really good, but so are we.
Yep.
And Ram, onward.
And any other comments about women's basketball before we move on?
I was just going to say, Chad, you brought up with Coach, obviously to Denver is the next game. I had kind of the same thought. I had actually wrote it down. Like, how do you avoid obviously this is an emotional win on Saturday. How do you, put that away and get ready for Denver? Obviously there was some shenanigans in the handshake line after Denver was here. And obviously Angie played there for a number of years. So got to reload and be ready.
Yeah.
And be
well,
smart.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this next week.
Mhm.
I think that's a tough road trip, though. Denver and then down to Tulsa. I mean, yeah, that's a tough road trip. And so, hopefully the ladies can take care of business this week.
And in empty gyms, too. It's going to be tough to, no offense, but I mean, historically.
Lots of echoes. Yep. All right. Well, the men's basketball team was at home on Thursday night. Took on Oral Roberts, and this one, Yotes kind of struggled a little bit in the first half. Offensively, it was not good. But picked it up there at the end of the first half, and then the beginning of the second half, and ended up going away with a 77-69 victory over Oral Roberts. Now, one thing I'm going to mention in this one, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about this. Improved the Yotes to 4-4 in the Summit League. At that point, 4th in the league, and then 12-11 overall. But I'm gonna point over here. You guys know I follow college basketball officials, right? You've heard me.
I think so.
Look at the second official on there, Tariq Lucas. Okay, Tariq's an awesome dude, right? Awesome guy. He's a fan of the Eyechart, does some great things, but we'll just keep that name in mind as we move on here in a little bit. Okay, Tariq Lucas. Okay, so anyways, we'll move on to the team statistics in this one. You can see the Yotes. This was surprising to me, Mark, because I thought the first half just were horrid offensively, but really shot 42% from the field, 25% from three-point land, and only 50% from free throws. The second half, the numbers look pretty much the similar, except for
lots of free throws.
And so the Yotes obviously figured out how to get to the line in this one. Oral Roberts, head coach, also got a technical foul in that one as well.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was a soft tee. He wasn't. I don't know.
I think that was a straw that broke the camel's back. He was on him.
Was that a he had it coming kind of deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike Littlewood wasn't messing around. Okay. You can also see the defensive effort here by the Yotes in the second half, holding Oral Roberts to 37% from the field, including 1 for 6 from three-point land. So very, very impressive there by the Yotes in this one. If we look at the individual statistics, Uzziah Bunton having a great stretch here. I mean, Isaac Bruns is out, guys. And so Uzziah has had to step up, and he has done it fantastically so far. 26 points in this one, 14 for 15 from the line.
I just want to remind folks he's a freshman. I'm just if we needed a reminder out there, this is a freshman.
And then the other guy, we were at this game. All three of us were there, right? Cam Fens. I mean, the number, he is physical inside. He's dunking it. I mean, this is back in November. I remember we were talking like, how come Cam doesn't dunk it more? Well, guess what? He's dunking it right now. He's putting the ball in the hole.
He probably clipped that and he listens to it.
That's probably.
I bet he did.
It's an alarm clock. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he clipped us, and that's what's doing it.
That's okay.
I thought he had a celebration after one of those dunks that Mark Riggs probably would have thrown him out of the game. You know, talk about soft technicals.
Oh, yeah. Well, Cam also had 13 rebounds in this one. Jordan Crawford had double digits for the Yotes. And if you look at that assist to turnover ratio, I know, Mark, you highlight this almost every single week. But if you go back to some of our shows from November and early December, that's not 12-5. Okay. That was in the negative a lot. And so
we were near the bottom in the country in assist turnover ratio. I think that's a really important number. Yep. And the other thing, you know, if we mentioned Cam might have clipped our show and that's why he's dunking more. If he wants to clip this, he could have had a 30-point game. He was 5 for 14 from the 3-point line. So
he mentioned it after the game. I took some kids in there to get autographs, and he did mention something about how he kind of was sorry that he couldn't make his free throws, but
no, he's playing well.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So then Saturday, the first place team in the Summit League comes to the SCSC. Now, this is a rematch from a game that took place on New Year's Eve, December 31st, up in Fargo. And in that one, the Yotes got dismantled. Okay. Shorthanded squad at that point, different Yotes squad back on December 31st. On this one, it ended up going to overtime in the SCSC. And NDSU came out on top 89-84. But I mean, the Yotes giving them everything they could handle in this one.
It was a rough first few minutes, and you could feel it in the crowd there, and you know, some yelling of play better defense, things like that. But it all came to be a little bit better. 44-28, NDSU was up. And you're right, guys. Like the fight that these guys, and I'm pulling up the minutes here because I think it's important. Jordan played 43. Uzi played 44 of the 45 minutes. And those guys, Uzziah played 34 minutes just 2 days prior. They were gassed. If you were watching it in overtime, they were giving it their all, but you could tell the gas was on empty in the tank. And NDSU is a really good ball club. I thought Jordan shooting kept us in it, Uzi shooting, and Cam as well. I thought that we played pretty well overall. Mark, were you guys able to watch it?
Yeah. Similar.
It was just so balanced. 5 or 6 in double figures.
I think that's what Coach Eighmey mentioned with South Dakota State is if you let one person go off, that's one thing. But if you let 4 or 5 people get off in double figures and in mid-teens, then you're in a little bit of trouble. And like you mentioned, Jordan, that very slow start where it looked like we were kind of sleepwalking and completely out of it. And you know, a 16-point hold to the best team in the Summit League is not an ideal recipe, but credit to them. I mean, in the group chat, we were convinced that they're going to come back and do it. So they just didn't have quite enough to make that happen. So, but overall, I mean, they keep fighting, they keep going. They don't have any quitting them. So
quick mention here. Look at that referee number 1 right there, guys.
Tariq, did he just stay?
Oh,
yeah. Do you think Tariq is like moving into Vermilion or what? 2 nights in 1 week, guys. Come on.
You think he had the walleye basket at Bunyan's?
I don't know. Tariq, hey, come on the show. Tim Brando let us down, but Tariq, you're welcome on the show. Okay.
You thought you had a shot at getting Tim Brando on the show.
We upgraded and got Carrie Eighmey.
We did.
Yes.
Team statistics here, guys. You know, it kind of came down to first half, obviously not great for the Yotes. Second half, very good for the Yotes. But that overtime, North Dakota State, 6 for 7 from the field in this one.
Couldn't get a stop.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah, they controlled the paint too, pretty much most of the game. But But they made a lot of mistakes. They left that door wide open, and USD took advantage of it numerous times. Well, really, Jordan and Uzi did. I think they had 37, I want to say. I was reading in the second half combined. And they had like 16 or 17 straight points in that stretch towards the end of the second half. I mean, it was amazing shooting. Yeah, there it is right there. 11 and 19 for Jordan. 7 of 15 from 3. He's got a sick crossover step back. I don't care if it's mid-range, if it's 3, if it's from Jimmer Fredette range. Like, there's just something when he does that and he steps back, you're like, that's going in. And it usually does.
All of our young fans out there, you're going to have to explain who Jimmer Fredette is later. But
God, did I just date myself?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did. That's okay.
Terrific. Wonderful.
Yeah, I saw him play in the G League in Sioux Falls, and that was when that was probably 10 years ago, Jordan. So he's been not relevant for a while now. That's okay.
I digress.
14 assists, 11 turnovers for the Yotes in this one. You can see some of the point totals there. Cam Fens, solid game, 16 and 8. Overall, just right on the cusp of being there for the Yotes.
Yeah, that would have been just an epic Saturday if they would have figured out how to get one more point there in regulation, but was not to be.
Give us the rematch again in March.
Yeah,
I know NDSU. I think they had what's the acronym, Mark? It was like DJT or something. I can't remember.
DWT, something like that.
DWT.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Pretty decent ball player, pretty good ball player that was out for NDSU. But
we have
everyone's got injuries, right?
Well, guys, in the last time they played in the Summit League tournament, Yotes won. So, got that going for them. But you can see the Summit League standings updated here. North Dakota State still 9-0 atop the Summit League standings. St. Thomas in second, North Dakota right there with them. And then the belly button kind of sneaks right in the middle, right where they belong there. And that 4 or 5 spot there, and then South Dakota State, and then South Dakota. I had kind of messaged this, but where would you rather be right now? If the standings stayed the same here, would you rather be in the 4-5 or would you rather be in the 6? I don't even know.
Matchup wise?
Yeah.
It's tough because we haven't played state yet, but I'd rather be the 4-5 matchup. I'm not a particular fan of how we match up against St. Thomas.
Yeah, that's a good question, Chad. I don't know.
Yeah, this is all stuff I think about on just a random Saturday morning. Yeah.
The regular season ends this month.
I know I'd rather be in the 4, 5, or 6 spot than the 8 or 9 spot. So that's
sure.
Always
let's avoid playing Wednesday.
Yep. So lots of good stuff there. Jordan Schmitz commented here, such a gritty squad. They'll never give up, held together with bubble gum, super glue and grit, but playing great. Not an easy out in the Summit League for sure. I think that's, all the media right now, the local media is just raving about Coach Peterson. We obviously have been raving about Coach Peterson for several years. We know how great he is, but the media is finally figuring it out that this guy is a really, really good coach, right?
Yeah. And I think Jordan is right there. If you're opposing team and you see us on the other side of on the line in your section of the bracket there, you're kind of nervous about that because you're in for a fight for 40 minutes and 45 if need be.
And we're going to find out here for the 4 of the next 5 on the road. Yeah. Not ideal, but it's at Kansas City, at State this week. Quick one on next Wednesday against UND, and then at Denver, at ORU.
You didn't do us any favors there, schedule-wise.
Well, when you haven't opened up a conference home game in 5 years, what do you expect? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not 3 in a row, though. It's not 3 in a row road games.
Correct.
Like Omaha gets.
All right. Track and field, Mark.
Jordan.
Are you sure, Mark? You don't want to? No, I'm just kidding. All right, day one. We're already at an hour here. We haven't even gotten to track. All right, I'll run through these quick. Day one for track and field, they claimed 5 events. The women in med distance medley relay broke indoor school records. Congrats to those 8 individual student athletes. Pole vaulter Marlene Mula vaulted 14 feet 11. I think that tied her highest mark of the year, which still sits at second in the NCAA. Mateo Yellowmule, 19 feet 8 inch long jump. She won the event by 10 inches, and that jump is good for 4th in indoor school history. That was just day one. Day two, we claimed 3 events. Geneva Timmerman set the school 3K meter record. I made sure to double check meters versus yards. Sorry, swimming. I got that wrong. Sioux Falls native Joe Lynch. Seems like he's been jumping forever down there. One of the best, wins the high jump, 6'8", 3/4 inches. And then Jaden Damiano, apologies, wins the 60-meter hurdles. Folks, there are many more results at goyotes.com. It's a lot. So I encourage you to go to the website. We did very well.
I think when we had Coach Huber on a couple of weeks ago, we should have asked, can we set up an exhibition where Joe Lynch high jumps over Mark Wendt?
That's what when he was reading that, I was like, hey, he could clear me by 4 inches. Like that's it's impressive.
Do we need to set this up?
Well, okay, they announced, so yes, we need to do that, and we also need to do at one of the upcoming home games. They're doing the football dunk contest again. I think they should try to jump over all 3 of us.
Oh my.
Or one of us. I don't care. Or we can like hold the ball up.
I need to know who's doing that.
How's your health insurance?
I don't want the left tackle to be doing that. Maybe a wide receiver or something.
No, great job, track. Great job.
Yeah, fantastic.
Swimming and diving also had some results.
Yeah, swim dive 10-team meet at the natatorium down in Vermilion. I tried to get over there. I wanted to get over there after the guys' game. It didn't happen. It had finished when we were walking out. But 18 event wins, 12 school records broken. Now, I have a question. I don't know if you guys – so it says pool records broken, but since there's so many of them, is that because that's the best time in the natatorium, or is that the best time in, like, school history?
Play the clip, Chad. We don't know anything.
Well, we don't know anything, do we, guys? We are.
So if anyone out there knows, that would be great help, because, I mean, there's tons of pool records. So to me, it makes sense. Like, it's a record that in the pool, in that particular pool. I don't know, though. Does that count? Is it school record? Happened. But anyways, swim and dive had a great 2-day meet on Friday, Saturday. We remain ignorant on the swim and dive stuff.
We'll figure it out. We just we just need more time. Real quick update. You mentioned tennis. I was going to give a quick shout out to tennis because we're a tennis school, but in that 4-3 victory over Bradley that Mark mentioned earlier, got a couple big doubles victories there by the number one team of Selena Bird and Cassie Mara, and then the number 3 doubles team of Kaylee Ditterins and Ava Doddridge. So that got the Yotes off to a good start, and then got some individual victories there by Selena Bird at the number 2, Cassie Mara at the number 4 singles, and Keta Shavashili and clip it. And so great victory for the tennis team right there. And so I'm looking for big things out of tennis going forward to build up off of that victory. Unfortunately today, unable to make it happen, but lost the doubles rounds, and then did get a victory out of Selena Bird at number 2 singles, and then another victory by Kaylee Ditterings at the number 3 singles. So lots of good positive things happening for tennis. So we mentioned all the good stuff. We did pick a player of the week, Jordan.
Yeah, special thanks to Dairy Queen of Vermilion, Hartford, Del Rapids for sponsoring the Howling Podcast Player of the Week. A lot of school records broken, in track and swimming, basketball, tennis. There's a lot to pick from, but we ended up going with Elise Turubiades of USD Women's Basketball. Stellar performances this week. She went double-double times 2. So was that a double-double-double? 14 points, 15 boards, 3 steals against St. Thomas. 19 points, 12 boards, 3 of 5 from deep, 6 of 6 at the line against SDSU. And just as important, her defense was phenomenal. The passion she showed during the runs helped kind of spark the crowd at moments. So she is the Howling Podcast Player of the Week, presented by Dairy Queen, Vermilion, Hartford, and Del Rapids. Congrats, Elise.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Played fantastic. Future friend of the show.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so. Yeah. We did have a comment come in here. Dr. O said, think it's the natatorium record. Jordan.
Okay. Good.
So, thanks for just kind of like thinking through all of those thoughts right there.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
It was, I didn't know any of
question.
that stuff either. So,
Well, I noticed it when I was trying to go through everything. I'm like, it's not saying school record, it's saying pool record. So yeah,
well,
that would
a
make
school
sense.
record could happen anywhere, not just at home, right? And so, yeah, you don't know.
Right. Yeah.
None of us really know anything.
That's not as bad as me thinking that they swam in meters versus yards, though. That one was bad.
Well, what's coming up this week, Mark?
This week, it's a busy week. As we mentioned, men's and women's basketball team are on the road. Thanks, schedulers. Men will be at Kansas City, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, Summit League Network. And then up to the Blue School. I believe that's Saturday at 5 p.m. Looks like that's a doubleheader type situation there for the Blue School. Women's basketball will be at Denver on Thursday and at Oral Roberts for some revenge, hopefully, on Saturday at 2 p.m. Both those will be on the Summit League Network. Tennis will be out hosting Montana on Friday at noon up in Sioux Falls.
We going?
I might be able to make that, actually.
What else is at home this week here? What else is home?
Yeah,
Let's bring the Eyechart to the Huther Center.
I mean, yeah, it's either that or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
meet everyone.
Thing going on.
Meet everyone up in Sioux Falls at noon on Friday. Track and field will be down in Lincoln at the Husker Invite. And super excited. Here we go. Softball season.
Let's go.
We had Coach Piv on and really looking forward to softball season. They'll be down in Huntsville, Texas at Sam Houston, playing Central Arkansas, Sam Houston, of course, and then actually kind of a regional game versus Creighton on Sunday. Some of those games will be on ESPN Plus. Some of them will not. So I might mention that here in a little bit.
Some of them will be on there and some of them will not. Jordan, you have some pictures.
Yeah, and really quick, I want to make one comment about swim and dive. You won't see anything because they're done until the Summit League Championships down in Summit League City, Iowa City. There's a school down there. There's not.
No.
February 18th through the 21st is
the Mecca.
Summit League.
It's not the
It's
Mecca.
not the Mecca. No.
Yeah.
I think we are the Mecca of Summit League swimming now. But so the swim and dive is done until the Summit League Championships here in a couple weeks. Yeah, this week's picks. Okay, so I was fortunate enough to play. My wife is the Roosevelt band director up in Sioux Falls, and they got to play for the Thursday night men's basketball game against ORU. So I was there, got to play trumpet for the first time in a long time while watching the boys. So that was a really fun time. And
Jordan,
yeah,
I've covered like 3 or 4 Roosevelt games this year, and this is the first time I've seen the Roosevelt pep band play.
So then Saturday during the SDSU game, I just took a picture. I like supporting the fine arts, unlike Chad. And no, I'm just kidding. No, this is the West Central Drumline. They were fantastic. They played at halftime in the women's basketball game. So shout out to West Central Drumline. They crushed it. They had a kid playing upside down on the quads. It was very entertaining. And the last picture, top right, City of Sioux Falls put on like a info practice with ice fishing for kids, and my son caught his first fish his first fish, and a little salmon there with the help of my brother-in-law Tyler. So just shout out to City of Sioux Falls for putting on these fun events. He had a blast. Didn't want to touch it though, but is what it is. Catch and release. He had the time of his life.
Fantastic.
It's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we're kind of at that point in the show. And now.
And that's just what they wanted to do there. And all things considered, again, as you see the Eyechart cardboard cutout, how appropriate.
Through the review, the Eyechart made its way to the video board. It really injected some energy.
Our own Mark Wendt is famous for holding up that Eyechart at men's and women's basketball games when officials make questionable calls. We also give our Eyechart of the week moments to questionable calls that happened, whether they were in games or in life. This week's Eyechart of the week segment is brought to you by our friends at Maloney Real Estate. It's more than just a sign in your yard. Maloney Real Estate offers a $25,000 seller protection errors and omissions policy included with every seller that lists their homes with Maloney. It covers sellers for 180 days after the home sells. Every time you drive by a sign, make sure to keep in mind, Maloney Real Estate, there's more than just a sign in your yard.
It sure is. Yeah.
Yep. Nailed
it. Right. Well, guys, last week, we had some good selections, I thought, and the USD student section ended up winning it, Jordan. So go ahead, Jordan. It's yours.
As much as I want to give it to them again for the complete lack of attendance for the SDSU game and NDSU game, I'm not going to, because that's an easy one. That's a low-hanging fruit. Maybe I'll let a fan submit that one. Mine is kind of a weird one. Mine goes to people that drive with their dogs or any pet on their lap. I witnessed two separate occasions this week alone in Sioux Falls where people was coming up on a stoplight with a corgi on his lap, and he almost rear-ended the person in front of him. They turned, and he didn't move. He had a green light, and he had people honking at him, and the dog was licking his face, and he was not driving. I love pets. Get the darn thing off. Was it Jerry P? No, it wasn't Jerry P. Get the darn thing off. Another one. I think it looked like a Shih Tzu or something. Again, was on the lap, and the owner was just kind of lollygagging, looking out the window, petting it. Green light, people honking at her. I love pets. Please get them off of your lap when you're driving. They're just as much of a distraction as the phone. That's my Eyechart of the week. People that drive with their dogs on their lap.
I think it was a mix between a bulldog and a Shih Tzu.
Hey. Sorry. Maybe it was a Yorkie. I don't know. But
90s movie reference there. Sorry. All right. Mark, you're up next.
So my Eyechart of the week is an evergreen one, and we do this every year, especially come softball season. And I mentioned it early. Sam Houston State is hosting 4 teams this weekend for the opener of softball. They're only allowing a video stream, or only showing a video stream of the games that Sam Houston's involved in. So it's 2026 now. You've proven you have, every school has the technology. You should not be allowed to host these events if you're not going to at least show video of the game. You don't have to have the announcers. I don't care. Give me a score bug and some video. It's ridiculous. Our friend Brittany Vinton, Sam Houston State graduate. So maybe we'll send this to her and she can figure something out. But the idea that in 2026 we can't get a video feed of a sporting event, a Division I sporting event in America, is unacceptable. You get my Eyechart of the week.
If anyone knows the softball parents, if they will do that live stream, Facebook.
Yeah.
Mark, was it last year? Was it Facebook?
Yep. Friends and family of USD softball on Facebook. We'll find out if they're down there, and we'll provide a feed, but that'd be your backup plan. Yep.
All right. My eye chart of the week this week goes to people who cannot follow directions. Most of you know I'm a professor instructor at USD, and a lot of times on a week-to-week basis, I go ahead and send out information. Do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. My very last bullet point is always email me if you have questions. Guess what? I've gotten 3 or 4 emails this past week from people that literally ask me questions about the things that were in the bullet points right above those in the email. Read the directions. That's my eye chart of the week.
Per my last email.
I don't even know what to say, guys. It's frustrating.
You got my vote.
We did have a nominee here. It's the 3 of us. We forgot to mention the Women in Sports Clinic and the Volleyball Awards Banquet during the show today. So, yeah.
The kids usually attend, and I didn't make it because of life. But, yeah, no, that's a good one.
Yeah. So
tremendous attendance. They did bring the gals out during the game. There's a lot of them. So, damn, we did forget that.
Yeah. Well, we'll do better next time. Mark, tell us about this next one.
988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline. If you're struggling, obviously we're in the winter months here, and seasonal depression's a thing. There's help for you out there if you need it. No judgment, just out, call, text, or chat, and we'll get you some help, get you to sunrise, and live to fight another day. Stick around. We need you.
Amen.
Jordan, special thanks to our title sponsors.
19 Brewing Company in Vermilion. Good beer, better company. Like I said, legacy beer, a lot of other beers on tap over there. Great food. Dairy Queen with the player of the week. Special thanks to DQ of Vermilion, Hartford, Del Rapids. And then Maloney Real Estate. More than just a sign in your yard. Thanks, Maloney, for sponsoring the coveted eye chart of the week.
Absolutely. As always, the Howling Podcast is produced by the Wakanda Peach Company, LLC of Burbank, South Dakota. I had to switch my camera so I could rep the shirt here. I'm sure we messed up a lot of stuff, but hey, we'll do better next week. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Go Yotes.
Good night, Vermilion.
Let's go! 3 idiots on a podcast. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Runs sucks.
We don't know if any of that's true, but oh, Jordan, don't give me this technically crap. Come on.
Got personal this week.
Lots of stuff happened.
Chad Berger, Brian Dawson of USD.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You guys do it in a really professional manner, and it's awesome.